Discourse. I come to you, beloved students of earth, in the fullness of the light of your own mighty I Am presence. You have been greatly privileged, as some of the students have come to know, in having by your earnest call drawn to you the Great Initiator, the Lord Maitreya, who recently dictated to you. Before I continue this, which I expect to do for you today, I wish you to realize for your encouragement and strength that it takes more than an ordinary outpouring of divine love, earnestness, sincerity, and determination to draw the attention and power of the Great Initiator. Remember, never in the outer world has that been done before. Only within the retreats was it ever done for those who had been prepared. They were held wholly free from contact with the outer world for months, sometimes years, before this great presence attention was even drawn. As Saint Germain's work is the activity required for the earth today, so is it my obligation and privilege to sustain his work. Through my being, as you no doubt have heard the messengers say, pour forth. 178. The diversified activities of the currents of energy to the earth, including nature. Will you understand that? As the way has been prepared for me to speak directly to you in this manner, I come to give you the courage and strength to know that your victory must be very certain. Steadily and surely there is being dissolved from the feeling world of mankind and the atmosphere of earth all the accumulation which has been charged with human, discordant qualities. All this is rapidly being dissolved and consumed. Through my observation, it seems to me only a few are realizing the fullness of what the consuming activity means for humanity. Let me give you a clearer feeling of what it means to you in every expression of your activity. Whatever is consumed by your call to the presence is forever erased from mankind and the earth. These activities have never been given to help the people, until Saint Germain brought this work forth. They repelled things if the light was strong within them, but nothing was ever consumed, because the consuming idea and understanding was not there. Today, let me make it clear to you that in entering the conscious pathway of light, you assert the dominion which is yours, which you have not understood before and not claimed. You are the decreer for your world, and when you enter the conscious pathway of light you are compelled, not by anyone, but by the light of your being, the light of your own presences, to make your own conscious application. I ask you earnestly never to tire, never to lose your enthusiasm in your application. It is your freedom. There is nothing which can stand against your determination, when you remember that whatever quality is acting constructively in your thought and feeling world is the power of your presence, called forth. Remember that. It is not anything of your outer self. If you will comprehend this, you will see how the power which you call forth in your decrees is infinite. It is limitless and all-powerful in its protective activity for you. Therefore, you cannot fail in anything you earnestly call forth from your presence. Today, the imperative need of mankind and among the students everywhere, according to my observation, is the feeling of infinite power acting in their call to the presence. Feel that it does release the self-luminous, intelligent substance, which is all-powerful in itself, and when called forth, it moves into action. The human cannot obstruct its way. It does not matter how drastic has been the discord, how tragic the accumulation. It has nothing whatever to do with this light. The light moves forth and dissolves everything before it. This is why the messengers feel the power of that one decree. The limitless legions of light now move across the face of the earth, and all human darkness disappears. It is actually, literally, physically, and practically the truth. Oh, my beloved ones, do you not see how long, century after century after century, we have waited for mankind to become aware of this so they could make the call? You are the authority in your human octave. That is why you could not be interfered with even though you were making mistakes. Still, without your call to us, we may not interfere. Long have I waited in my capacity to render a service to the earth which is beginning today to act in greater fullness and power. You will understand that we move and act in conjunction with and through this great cosmic light which is being released into the earth, because the accumulation and discord of human beings has grown to a state where extraordinary means must be used to save the people. You can realize now with a greater fullness what this means. In all the centuries past there have been civilizations of which rarely more than 25% came to this great height of understanding, But the mass of mankind, having free will, would not accept it. Therefore, we just had to take our hands off. Does it not seem incredible? Let us draw an illustration, that you may more clearly understand how, while being sustained by the light of your presence, which gives you physical forms, you and mankind could have so forgotten. Is it not strange? The explanation is quite easy and quite practical. Individuals being the ones who must choose how the energy is to be used, having turned aside and forgotten their reality, they have become so clothed with density that only by gigantic means was the shell of that human accumulation broken through. Today, the marvel of all ages has come forth to the blessing and freedom of humanity. Therefore, in holding your attention to your presence, the source of all life, intelligence, power, activity, and energy, you are the most privileged of beings. I wish you to understand today that while enormous assistance is being given, it does not free the individual from the need of maintaining his own great determination and making his own application. Do not let anyone ever feel that he can ease up. It does not make any difference, dear people, whether you are having the full results of your application or not. That has nothing whatsoever to do with it. If your accumulation of discord has been unusually great, more than the ordinary, then you must make greater, firmer, more determined application, until you break down the human resistance. Do not be discouraged, dear people, because you have not had the results which your hearts might desire. You do not know in the outer activity what your accumulation has been. Therefore, if the application is needed, make it. But once you intellectually know your presence is above you, do not give way again to anything less than the glory of its perfection brought into manifestation in, through, and about your human form. Such is the glory of your privilege and use of the light, for in the fullness of its power you have your victory. Dear people, notice, you have your victory. Please remember that. You are not attaining, you have your victory, I tell you. Will you not accept that? Live in it. Be it. Until the full power of this conviction flows into your being and out into your world, producing the results you require. Remember, beloved ones, we must assert this until each one gets the full conviction of it. When we call the power of your presence forth, remember, its power is a self-luminous substance which floods into, around you, and out into your world. That light is all-powerful. It floods forth and everything unlike itself is dissolved before it. Once you get the full conviction, you will have not one moment's difficulty in freeing yourself quickly from every limiting, discordant thing. This is the law of your life, the law of all life. You are the focus of the Godhead at your point in the universe. Oh, dear people, realize that. Do not let the impression or the suggestions of the outer world cause you to waver or question your authority and reality from your own God presence, which gives you life. It is life. It is you, the only you that ever did or ever will exist in the world. That stream of life is you. This which you see out here is but the form which has accepted limitations and discord. It is not real. It is not true, even though its appearance is terrifying to mankind many times. That appearance could never be terrifying or limiting to anyone, except the individual feed his own life stream of energy into it by his attention, which gives it power to limit. Remember, dear people, you are the authority as to how this energy is going to act for you. As long as you allow your human self to accept that limitations can affect you, you are feeding your life into them to do it. Limitation has no power. If you will reverse it and say to every discordant or limiting appearance, you have no power. My presence, the infinite power of the universe, is here sustaining this body. Then why should I accept limitations which do not exist, except in the human imagination? Now these are mighty truths. Mankind can grasp them. They are simple, nothing complicated about them, but individuals have been determined to live in that which they see in the outer world. There are thousands of people, hundreds of thousands who may have heard of this work, yet the human says to them, "Show me." Dear people, all the infinite light in the universe cannot show anyone what that one does not want to see, or what he does not want to be. Such an expression is but childish foolishness of the human intellect. The only way any human being can have the proof of anything in the world is to call his own presence into action. It will give everyone all the infinite, limitless proof of anything he requires, through his own being. The individual's own experience is the only thing that amounts to anything to any human being. All that another does may seem wonderful and beautiful, yet it amounts to nothing, until you prove it yourself. This magnificent application has been the means which all ascended masters have used to attain their victories. It is before you in their identical words. If you will accept it, apply it with firm determination, and not accept discord in any way to limit you, then your application will quickly produce the results you desire. You must use the violet consuming flame, for it is the only means by which individuals can be free from their own human accumulation of discord. Those records cannot be erased unless you call the presence to use the violet consuming flame in, through, and about you. It is the only means by which you can free yourself from the impact or pressure of your own human creation. Think, O beloved people, think. The Great Presence, the Divine Director, has consumed 2/3 of your own human creation to give you greater freedom and strength in consuming the remainder, an offer of such vast assistance to mankind as has never been heard of before in the history of the earth. Then please, beloved ones, take advantage of it, understand and accept the fullness of his power. Charge your feeling world with the truth, the vastness of that magnificent activity and assistance which is yours. It is wonderful beyond all words. More than words are acting these days with you. More than words, oh, beloved ones. The power of the infinite radiation which is going forth is resistless in its all-powerful activity, sweeping in, through, and about you to release you from every limiting thing. Oh, feel it, beloved ones. While I have this opportunity, feel it as never before, and allow me to give you the assistance of intensifying the feeling of your glory and freedom. While I am speaking these words, allow the light within your heart to expand and charge in, through, and about your human form, dissolving the density of that which clothes those points of the light within the cells of your body. Allow your light to stand forth in its glowing radiance and power, and be free forever from limitation of any kind. All human limitations shall cease from the earth. The time has come when it has to be done. Our rejoicing is great that the cosmic light, directed by those great beings from the great central sun to the earth, makes it possible to do these things. Beloved ones, we must keep your attention upon this great privilege, so you may more quickly gain the feeling of how great your privilege is today in comparison to that of the centuries past, when those seeking the light had to win every step of the way entirely by their own efforts. For thousands of years mankind sought the retreats of the world. Now, I shall use this opportunity to acquaint you with what that word means. A retreat does not mean a place in the outer world which anyone may call a retreat. The word retreat means those mighty focuses of light which have been maintained for thousands and thousands of years, such as the Royal Teton, the retreat in Arabia, Chananda's home in India. Those are retreats. Do not use those words lightly in your outer world today. Realize that in the thousands of years in which mankind sought the world over for those retreats, some found them and some did not. Few did. Today the power, the activity which is within those retreats has come to you in the outer world. It is very wonderful to feel, know, and see how many of the beloved students under Saint Germain are actually in their feeling accepting, and being blessed by this magnificent truth. The great privilege is theirs today, and it is ever expanding. This light, the light of the world, has begun its journey in the earth to free mankind. Please remember, while it is for great groups of humanity to help consume what retards their perfecting activity, yet there is no power on earth or anywhere else, visible or invisible, that can affect any one of you or retard the expansion of your light from your presence, but yourself. If you will discard everything, stand in your presence, and keep calling it into action, then you will have the perfection which it is. As you gain the victory, you will find soon that no condition of the outer world affects or touches you. You must understand that this good messenger before you is the fulfilling of this law. You know of all that has been projected at him, enough to destroy an army, yet it does not touch him. Then you must know that it is more than human. The human cannot protect itself, but his assurance of the power of the presence, each day gaining its greater power and authority, is the invincible protection which is about everyone. If you do not claim it, how can you have its use? Oh, keep on. Keep on. Keep on. Oh, claim the power of your presence governing you in self-control, charging in, through your mind and body, and out into your world, producing its harmonizing perfection of the presence in your world and activity. You are the central focus of your world. You cannot know anyone else's world. You have not anything to do with anyone else's world. I plead with you, do not have even an opinion about anyone else. You are the one who needs attention. Each one'll never have opinions about somebody else. If you do, then you are charging your world with whatever that feeling is. You are the only one who is going to be disappointed. The other person has an I am presence. Let it take care of him, and keep the human mind off every individual's personality and conditions, beloved ones, if you want to be free. Oh yes, I know, through all the momentum and habits mankind has said, how can I stop that criticism? How can I stop those feelings which want to mind the other person's business? Well, it has to be done. No one is an exception to the rule, because it is your law of your own life. Oh, think of it. Bear with me just a moment and feel this deeply. Everything that holds your attention, whether it be person, place, condition, or thing, all that causes discordant feeling in you, and it does not matter whether it be resentment, jealousy, hatred, criticism, condemnation, judgment, or any of those qualities, you are charging your own feeling world around you with those qualities. Then you wonder, what in the world is the matter with my health? There is only one thing that produces ill health, and that is discord in the feelings. Do you not see, beloved ones, if there were not discord in the feelings, there would not be anything in you by which the discord of the outer world could fasten itself upon you and thus affect you. It just is the law. The moment something can get you stirred up, it just laughs at you. It says, now I have you. And it has for the time being. You do not realize, beloved ones, what 10, 15, 20, or 30 minutes of violent discord means in your feeling. You may forget it in half an hour, but the effect is still there, beloved ones. And the worst of it is that the effect is still going on long after you have forgotten it. Therefore, if you are off guard again, it goes on doing its work, because your very life has set it into action. Do not let anyone, any I am student ever say to me, I cannot control my feelings. If someone offered you $10,000, you could be angelic for a while. Now that is just the proof. You could be so happy for a while, could you not? I mean those who have not had much money. Then look at the individual who has it. The same subtle activity seizes him in some other angle. You see, no one is immune from the discord of human creation, precious ones. Every human being is the product of the energy of the great, the mighty I Am presence. The original intent of life was that it should be perfect, beautiful, and wonderful. But mankind turned its energy down, its attention down, and has drawn itself into the density of earth. You must understand, dear people, we do not humor anyone's feelings. We tell you the truth straight and unadulterated, that you may correct yourselves, if you will. Today I am saying this with a tremendous inner activity, because we see the rebellion in mankind among so many people when the messengers tell them the truth that they must govern the sex activity. We have observed the rebellion and flare in the feelings when the messengers have stated the law concerning this. You cannot waste that energy and have your freedom. It, like anything else, has become a habit. When you are very hungry, it is a great satisfaction to eat all you want, many times more than you want. All of these sense gratifications are but activities of human qualification. Remember, I said in the beginning, all energy, even that used throughout nature, passes through my being from the great octave of light above the physical world. Can it be possible that anyone for a momentary sensation would want to waste my energy, or that which is released through me to produce their perfection, waste it in riotous living, when they could be free, perfect, beautiful, and wonderful so quickly? Not only that, but they can come into a position where they could reach out their hands and receive instantly whatever the outer needed for use. It is and was the intent for every human being to live like that, and you can. It does not make any difference what your mistakes have been up to this time. If you will turn from them, turn to the presence, call on the law of forgiveness, all of that can quickly be dissolved and forgotten. We condemn no one. You are your own condemnation into the limitations which you have drawn around yourself. Do you not see that nothing in the world but you, yourself, condemns you? This is why the messengers have prompted the students about this, because early in their experience they found this was acting in many. When you have found that you are making mistakes, please do not condemn yourself. That would be still worse, but when you have seen your mistakes clearly, then rejoice because you have found them and know the power by which to call forth the release from all of them. Such should be the greatest rejoicing. Just as the messengers have said to you, the time for weeping is at birth instead of so-called death, because mankind is coming into the experience life where the power of light and darkness act. There is no other place where the darkness acts, except the earth and its atmosphere. The darkness here is discord and is what has caused the earth to be called the dark star. It is because of the density of human discord, but the most encouraging, beautiful, delightful thing to all the world is the great truth and power of the mighty I Am Presence to release the light which illumines the darkness. Oh, if mankind would only take this, believe it, and feel it. I do not wonder that you love these messengers as you do, and I am going to say something to you this morning which I hope will be an eternal sustaining glory, courage, strength, and victory to you. Including today, in 3 years, 40% of the discordant, destructive accumulation of mankind in America has been dissolved. Please understand how magnificent this work is. To all of you throughout the United States who are issuing these decrees, I say this because it is true, and for your encouragement and strength. You are not acting in any imaginary thing. You are wielding a mighty light, the light of all life. The light of the universe. Do you not see that every time you voice eternal truth, you cause the eternal power of that truth to go into action instantly? If you will call it to be sustained, it will go on and on, operating in that particular call until everything within the human octave of activity is dissolved. You see how logical, how practical each one of these infinite activities is. Now, mankind is beginning to understand how practical, how simplified, and yet how majestic and powerful these activities are at any individual's call. See how definite. It does not require that one be an athlete in order to call forth the power of his presence. A little child 4 or 5 years old can call forth the light of its presence with tremendous power, easier than most grown-ups because the child's mind is not filled with a lot of human sense limitations. If you will just feel happy and joyous about it in your feelings, and say to all accumulation, well, suppose I have created you. I say to you then, you have no power. Right now you are finished. Do you not see what a magnificent activity it would set into action to produce that identical result for you? Try to do the same thing as the messengers did. They had to win their victory by dynamic, powerful application. We did not set them free of their obligations, even because of the great service they were rendering. Saint Germain, how his heart longed many times to give just a little boost to those blessed ones, yet the law said, no, you just wait. Today, we and they rejoice exceedingly that the very demand compelled them to make such dynamic application that they won their victory. Now they know human appearances no longer have any power. Therefore, they are free from them. You have loved your America. Now you see, beloved ones, the magnificent activity for its protection and freedom which is going forth every day from the precious children of the light in America. It is reaching into your governmental affairs more than you know. Keep it up, oh, blessed ones, with ever-increasing joy and intensity, and I observe you are using those decrees with a snap and power that is magnificent. You have been calling forth the activity of the blue lightning of divine love. It is outpicturing. I tell you that those decrees go forth with the power of blue lightning. Therefore, they are doing the work with a greater speed. Shall I tell you how much? Perhaps I should not say the exact amount, lest some of our technical friends think they have found a discrepancy. It is so amusing, beloved ones, to see those unfortunate beings who criticize and condemn. Notice this, that which they do not want to understand, lest it deprive them of their sense gratification. Everyone who is vicious toward this work is scared lest he be deprived of his own sense gratifications. Therefore, such individuals try to discourage others from gaining this truth. As though they could. As though anyone could say to this light, "You wait. I am going to have some more fun." Today the light says, "Your fun is finished. Now you come into line or I will see that you do." Is that not vastly different? Do you not rejoice with me, with all of us, that the time has arrived for the blessing of mankind? Oh, precious hearts, mankind has never lived in greater chaos of human creation than up to 3 years ago. Yet never was greater light released in any crisis of the world than today. You see, beloved ones, how the great law of this life, the mighty I Am Presence, watches and watches for the balancing activity. This is why the messengers prompt all of the students continually, that in calling forth any power of the presence, you must balance that power in the physical octave by self-control. If you do not, and you call this mighty energy forth, you will intensify the wrong desires. It is the law. It is natural. You cannot help it. That is why, if you will hold mastery by self-control, then the power of your presence, called forth, will release you quickly into the great freedom which it is. Beloved ones, when we voice our wishes to you, our earnest desire to help, we see among you everywhere, oh, so many whose light is great within, yet in their feeling worlds they are not quite sure. At least at times, they contact something in the outer world and for a moment think, "I wonder if that can be true. I wonder. I wonder." You know, we have asked the messengers, although they slip occasionally, to discard from their vocabulary the word "if." Now let us add to that, wonder, I wonder. The I Am cannot wonder. It is the outer that is wondering. Remember, the I Am cannot wonder, cannot doubt. Therefore, if those feelings are acting within you, do you not see how easy it is to determine what the force is which is acting? Be alert, dear ones, and watch that thing, because, I tell you, the moment you let this limiting consciousness express within you and something begins to act in your feeling which is less than the perfection of the presence, you will know it. It is easy to put it down, dissolve it right there. But if you think, well, I just think I am going on and say and do that thing, then it gains a momentum within your feeling and becomes difficult oftentimes to remove. The moment there is the slightest feeling of disturbance, if you will be alert enough when any discord, doubt, fear, or any of those qualities start to act, you will stop instantly and say like that to such a feeling, "Oh no, just wait a minute, wait a minute. You are done for. You did not fool me that time." As you take those particular activities and are alert to their action, you will have great joy in the victory over all such things. It will be just the easiest thing in the world, but do not be too serious. You have made a lot of mistakes for a long while. Now rejoice that you know them for what they are, and that you are the victorious presence over them. You know, we do not consider time. I so rejoice that most of you do not, and that you do not grow weary of listening to us for 2 or 3 hours. Is it not wonderful to have released a sufficient power of love to make you forget time and space? However, my work is accomplished today, and I thank you for your attention. I thank you for the privilege of doing that which it was my privilege and my joy to do. I remind you that in your coming class there will be a victory unknown in the history of the earth. We feel your victory so certain, so joyfully that you must receive my feeling, with its ever-expanding victory in you. I say to all the students under St. Germain throughout America and the world, within a few days there has come the great final outpouring to the children of light. Having drawn the attention and assistance of the Great Initiator and myself, it should bring the victory very quickly to every I Am student in America and the world who is sincere. You will find it so much easier to hold self-control. Stand guard over the slightest feeling of discord. Then in your call to the presence, feel definitely, I mean by that, it will become almost an involuntary thing, but feel so definitely the victory in the call. It is there. Your victory is in your call. Do you not see that? Because your call for perfection is the intelligence, the energy, the power of the presence. Therefore, the victory then is in your call. Does that not make it seem close and simplified? You have understood that God, the mighty I Am Presence in you, is your certain victory, but I say to you, in every call you make is your victory. How could it be otherwise? Then do not let your human have any opinion about it. Every time it begins to say something, say, keep out of the way. You have had your day. You are finished. Now is the day of the mighty I Am Presence and its victory. My call is its victory. Do you not see the marvelous feeling it gives you that in your call is the victory for which you call? It is true. Accept it, and have its great glory and power going forth in the glory of that infinite light which beats your hearts. I call it into intensified activity, but do not ever think you are getting heart trouble. Oh, if your heart beats rapidly sometimes, rejoice that it is the great intensified activity of the presence, but that would only be momentarily. Your heart cannot be troubled, for it is the heart of the mighty I Am Presence. We clothe you in the great eternal light and its instantaneous, eternal victory. I thank you.